So my thing right now is like, okay, yeah, sexually I can probably have whatever the fucking guy I want to.
You sure
but
about that?
Fucking let me finish.
You're
Jesus
trying to educate
Christ.
me on the Bible,
okay,
but
let
you
me
don't
finish.
even
Do
have
it
your
after.
most basic facts
Do it
straight.
fucking after.
In this video, we are going to see on full display countless examples of the way that feminism is ruining the Western world and creating a sense of delusion in women that is at times unfathomable. And as this video goes, the delusion just gets more and more and more severe. So needless to say, I cannot wait to read your thoughts in the comments for this one. So with that, hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into the clips.
I'm Allie, better known for Al Weezy. I'm 23 years old from Arizona, and I'm your certified bad bitch.
You're,
A certified baddie.
Talking to the mic.
Yeah, talking to the mic, just so they can hear you.
Say your occupation one more time for us.
Just so they can.
My occupation is a certified bad bitch.
What was your age? What was your age again?
Very much baddie vibes. I'm 23 years old.
Okay, and Kiko 23, right?
Yeah.
Okay, 23. And certified bad bitch or boss babe?
Very much baddie vibes.
Baddie-
like
what?
full-time baddie. No breaks.
What?
It's
So
very much full-time.
what does that mean? Can you explain that?
It's just a lifestyle. Like I mean, if you get it, you get it. The rules are there. I mean, I feel like every woman can be a certified baddie. It's just the mindset, and it's a full-time job.
But if you had, if there was a dictionary and you were hired by Webster's to define certified bad bitch, is that what it is?
Yes.
What would be the dictionary definition of a certified bad bitch?
I would have to say, I mean, if just like toning it down completely, just a woman who's confident in herself, does whatever she wants for herself, nobody else, just woman, whatever, men, whatever, anybody can be a certified bad bitch. I think it's just the level of confidence, and it's the mindset for sure.
Is that the occupation you list on your taxes?
Oh, for sure. Are you kidding?
Nice.
Very much that.
So first of all, just for some relevance, she's also a trans woman. And let me just commend her for coming on the show and having the discussion. And she was very cordial the whole time and actually conducted herself extremely well, especially when you actually juxtapose her behavior with the psychopath sitting next to her. However, what we're seeing here is a serious problem with the modern day. We have somebody here who is morbidly obese to the point of potentially imminent death due to some sort of side effect, telling everybody how much of a baddie she is and how confident she is, which we all obviously know is a lie because nobody who is that fat is confident. In my opinion, that's actually a form of masochism and self-loathing, doing that to yourself and doing that to your body. And that comes from a person who used to be obese myself. But more to the point, clips like this make me understand that our society is not doing very well. And it's no surprise that Russia and China are laughing at us. And it also goes to show in this whole Yas Queen, Yas Babe, Boss Babe culture, there is a severe and dangerous lack of accountability. Not only are these people not even cognizant of the destructive nature of their choices, but these choices are actually encouraged and they're celebrated for it. You can see the other girl next to her nodding her head, and you can guarantee that she'd have people all around her saying, yes, you do you. If you feel beautiful, then you just keep eating. And that is not healthy. The thing that made me lose a bunch of weight was being constantly reminded of the fact that I got zero female attention and being repeatedly shown no respect by other men. But this is nowhere near as prevalent in female friendship circles. And let me know what you guys think in the comments. Is bullying okay sometimes? And now we move into the girls rating themselves from 1 to 10. If you thought the delusion was bad already, it's only going to get a lot worse from here on out.
Hold up. Stifler asked, ask everyone to rate themselves on a scale of 1 to 10. So let's do that.
10.
Kiko, so okay, we'll start with you. Go ahead.
10.
A fat fucking 10.
A fat fucking 10?
I mean, I'm just saying what everybody in the comments is going to say. Be like, oh yeah, she's a fat fucking 10. Be like, great.
Is there a comma somewhere in that statement?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know.
What was said was said.
Okay.
Yeah. I said what I said, and I meant what I said.
Okay.
Period.
Now guys, this one only gets more and more insane, so make sure you stick around until the end. But if you are enjoying this content, then please drop me a like because it really helps me to gauge if I should make more of this content or do something else. Or leave me a comment. I'm always open to hearing your thoughts about my content. Back into the clips.
People have given
Do you know
themselves.
where the rating scale comes from? It's supposed to be if you line up 10 random men and you ask them, would you fuck her? And they were to say yes or no.
Nope.
That's originally where it came
That's
from.
not how. Nope. That's not how
Okay,
that
where'd it come
works.
from? Tell me.
Well, no, I'm
Rating,
being,
the
I'm
10 rating scale.
Educate me where it came from.
That's
if you
not
know,
how
if
that
you know,
works.
tell me.
Just
Tell me.
just think
Tell
about
me.
it. Think about it intuitively. If a 10 is like a perfect woman, like absolutely maxed out attractiveness.
10 is supposed to be on physical. It's supposed to be on physical attraction
So if we're
only.
talking,
We're not
if we're
supposed to talk
talking
about
physical
personality.
attraction, yeah,
Yes.
if we're talking just physical attraction, 10 is like the most attractive woman you could possibly imagine.
Yes, it's 10 out of 10 for a
anything-
reason because you're lining up 10 and you're counting how many points are you getting. That's why.
What
it's,
do you mean you're lining up 10? Where
Like,
does
you're
lining
supposed
up
to-
10
you're
women
suppo-
come into this?
No, I'm saying 10 men, like, or opposite gender of you. I mean, opposite gender of you. You're supposed to be. It's the point is.
You tracking with this?
Deborah, you got to.
Where did it come from? Then tell me. Tell me where it came from.
It's like okay, what are you like? If you're a 5, then you're like very like average.
Yes.
If you're like an 8,
because
then
5
you're
out of
like-
10 people would be with you.
No, that's not
That's
what,
what it-
that's not what it is.
No, I'm
It's
just
not-
sa-
it's
I'm
not
saying
how many
on a-
people would be with you. It's not how many people would be with you. It's like 10 is physical perfection.
Yes, I
Wait,
understand that.
okay.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
Not because 10 guys would sleep with you. Like you could have a girl who's like a 7 and 10 guys would all sleep with her. But that doesn't mean that she's a 10.
There's nothing more insufferable in life than somebody who is clearly not an intelligent person, who thinks they're really smart and refuses to take on information from people who are clearly more intelligent than they are. Obviously, the majority of the men in the world would sleep with the majority of women in the world. So that disqualifies that. And I know in your world, 90% of women can call themselves 10s, but that's just not how reality works. And this one continues.
I think it's well just go
Okay,
with
wait,
what
so-
you truly believe.
Kiko, going back
You
to
know?
this whole, if you lined up 10 people and if they all wanted to sleep with you, that makes you a 10.
Okay, so they all found you attractive. I was just going.
Yeah,
off
but
of
that's a
what you-
binary, yes or no. Are they attractive? However, there's
Yes.
degrees to attractiveness.
Exactly. That's why it's supposed to be like 10 random people, like maybe from all over the world, like not just 10 people from San
That's-
Francisco or just
that-
10 people from LA. That's
I've
the way
never
to
heard this.
Yeah, I've never heard that
Look it
either.
up.
That's not
Okay, well, that's not what we mean.
Google where you look up anything else. Bing, if you use that still, Yahoo.
Okay.
No,
Bravo.
it's like this. It's
It's
like this. If
degrees.
the hottest possible Victoria's Secret model, just
it's-
physical. Hold on, just physical perfection is a 10. How might you compare yourself to her? Do you think
10.
do you think you're like the most attractive specimen that's ever walked this earth?
I wouldn't say there's.
On
There's
par.
not. Is there not people
On
who are?
par with the most attractive
Can I
specimens
answer?
that have ever walked this earth?
Can I answer?
We give you permission.
Thank you. I mean, he's like keeps shooting things. I mean, hasn't really let me respond.
Just
Sorry.
go ahead.
Yes, but that's saying that there's only one 10 in the world. There's not only
No, no,
one
no,
10. There's
no.
multiple 10s in the world.
That's not how
And
not
I'm
what I'm
up.
saying.
Yeah, I'm saying yes.
the
I
TikTok
will
has
include
got
myself.
into your brain, Kiko.
I don't use TikTok really.
You have a TikTok called Rage Quit Kiko.
I know, but I just made that. I have like 900 followers. So
Yeah,
how
you're
is 900
famous.
followers getting
You're
to my head?
famous, Kiko.
Thank you, Brian.
Okay, that I've never heard that. I wish
Look
you
it
had
up.
explained that before, but that's not how you define what
That's
a 10
it right
is.
there. Sean Mays.
Thank
10,
you.
perfect.
Thank you,
9,
Sean.
very beautiful. 8, beautiful. 7, very pretty. Slash
10.
handsome.
So
6, 6, pretty handsome. 5, average. 4, below average. 3, unattractive. 2, very unattractive. 1, hideous. Rate accordingly. Hashtag Christ is Lord. Let's go.
10.
So you think you're like physical
Billy, you're not a
perfection?
6.7. All things
Kiko,
considered.
you're a 10 in delusion.
You don't want me to tell what you are,
That's right.
Well, I don't think
That's
I'm
right.
a 10.
Yep, Brian pretty much nailed it there. A 10 in delusion, without a doubt. And I'm not going to pick apart her looks, but there is no way on planet Earth that she is a 10. That would mean that she would be in the top percentile of women, which she's not. And also, I don't care what you look like. Anybody who rates themselves as a 10 out of 10 is automatically an insufferable person. It's like just saying, I am perfect. There is nothing about me that I could fix or improve. I have reached the pinnacle of physical attractiveness. And when I walk into the room, everybody should just start crying tears of joy. And no matter where you're at in life, that should never be your opinion. I don't care if you've just won Miss Universe. But unfortunately, the way that our culture is going, women are not incentivized to self-improve, but rather they're just incentivized to say, I'm a 10, take me or leave me, I don't need to self-improve, I'm a queen, Yath queen. Whereas for men, it's a different story. And I do think that this problem is a big problem. This is why these podcasts exist, to shine a light on this issue. And it's an issue that's been spurred on by social media a lot because these women are getting unbelievable amounts of attention from guys and guys that want to have sex with them, and not necessarily guys who want to retain them, but guys who just want to have sex with them and will say, whatever they need to say to get said sex. And then women will conflate that with the kind of guys that they can retain, and then they won't settle for anything less. And then they become delusional and start calling themselves 10 out of 10s on podcasts. And if you're a 10, then you should be able to lock down a very high status man. If you can't do that, then you're clearly not a 10. It doesn't matter if they're sliding into your DMs. That means nothing in today's day and age.
Your man is probably in my fucking DMs, and I could have had him as a body literally last week if I wanted to.
And in the next clip, the ladies are asked if they would ever date Leonardo DiCaprio. Let's have a look at their responses.
If you weren't dating a guy right now, would you date Leonardo DiCaprio?
No.
Stop the
Stop
cap.
the cap.
Stop the
Stop the
cap.
cap.
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't
You
either.
wouldn't-
Yeah.
You so would.
I wouldn't.
Come
I-
on.
I don't
The
find it
I don't think you guys
attractive.
realize the opportunity a lot of women have to date or be with like
Leonardo
celebrities.
DiCaprio.
I'm not saying to stereotype, but like he's not attractive to me in the slightest. Like not even for the money could I do that. Like
What
I
about-
value myself and my life. I would shoot my brains out probably a year in.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap.
So
I
why
mean-
even do it?
Okay,
One of
remove.
his 5+ guns.
I feel like so many women say that, but the reality is, if
I
they
value
met-
my
if they
happiness.
saw him in person and he was like,
you
"Hey,
saw-
how you doing?" You'd be like, "Hi."
That's true.
You know?
I feel
will
like
say
you would
that's
just
true.
be starstruck. I don't think you would
Yeah,
immediately want to
you'd
like
be
jump on
starstruck.
them.
It
I
happens.
would not date him
Hold on.
though.
Did you guys ever see that clip when Jeff Bezos and his girlfriend / wife ran into Leonardo DiCaprio? And
I did.
And he's like standing on the stair and she's looking up at him like,
I would
That
definitely.
might-
like
Yeah.
that's what would happen to 99.9%.
You're not from here,
Hold on,
are you?
Hold on. That's what would happen to 99.9% of women if they just happened to run into Leonardo DiCaprio.
But
You'd be starstruck. And if
Yeah.
he was like, hey, so like, you know, what's your name? What are you doing later? You want to go grab a drink? Like, you're telling me you'd be like, no, I'm not interested.
And, well, on top of that, on top of what Chase just said,
No chance.
there's going to be a whole entourage surrounding him, and you're going to see men going up to him wanting to get attention, women wanting his attention. You're going to see this social component of the fame, and you're going to find that, like, you don't even have to intellectualize that. There's something, like, women will see that and be like, that's the fucking man.
Yep. I would bet.
Like-
I feel like I've seen.
Bro,
I
women,
bet in a
Would you?
situation,
What does that
in
even
a
mean?
situation
Yeah.
he's describing, I'd bet $1,000 every single girl at this table would, if he asked them
No.
out, would
Just
be
because
like,
you would do that for Kim
wouldn't.
Kardashian, it doesn't mean that we
Every
would do
girl
that
at
for
this
Leonardo
table,
DiCaprio. He's
every-
so ugly to me. Like, he's
No.
literally hideous. Like, he's literally hideous. Like, money can't do that
He's
for
a
me.
good-looking guy.
He's not to
He's
me
a
at all.
good-looking guy.
He looks like a
Good-looking guy.
fucking, like
In
the
comparison,
Lord
like-
of the Rings. My
He's
precious
chubby.
to me.
He's
Precious
chubby.
to me. Like, yeah, he's not
He
cute.
looks
His
like
head,
Gollum.
Chubby?
his head is
Chubby.
a ball, walking bald.
Doesn't
He's
work
full of
out.
wrinkles. He's hideous in my opinion.
This is so typical. I've heard this hundreds of times from girls who will say, I would never date that really successful and powerful and rich man. But when push comes to shove, they will take the high status man 99 times out of 100. All those same girls who say that they would never date these high status men and they just want a normal guy and a nice guy, guess where they are in the club? In the VIP section. With the artists and the athletes, with all those girls bringing the bottles with the sparklers on them over. And it's such a clear lie. And it's like if you said to a man, there is a Victoria's Secret supermodel who shoots her shot with you, do you take it? Of course you would do it. Any single man would do it. And if you tell me that you wouldn't do it, then I'm sorry, but you are either lying or gay. And it's the same for women. If you have a very high status man who wants to take you on the red carpet and get all those photos done and put you in designer bags and take you on yachts and take you to exotic locations and spoil you and give you nice cars, then you will take it every time. And there's no need to lie about it. And Chase and Brian actually sum it up pretty well here.
They say fucking one of the most critically acclaimed actors of our generation, and he's a very talented actor too.
Dude,
like it's just every metric.
Every woman responds to status and power in a man. And no matter how principled a woman can say, that doesn't mean that she's necessarily going to date him, but there's something in every woman.
Absolutely nailed it. Now onto the topic of women having dating on easy mode. And watch the way here that Chase leads the conversation like a pro.
Women have dating on easy mode
I would disagree.
compared to men.
I see
Good
your
Women,
point.
hot women.
I see your point, but it's like
Even average women have dating on
Yep.
easy mode.
Yeah, sevens and above.
you go your
Even-
struggle
honestly,
you're
even
saying
fine.
is you struggle maybe to get a first date. Me, it's like we're scared for our lives sometimes. So it's like a very difference of things when it's like dating on easy mode. Like it's maybe if you're an ugly man, sure. My boyfriend definitely has never had a problem dating because he's an attractive man. If you're an ugly girl,
Right.
it's gonna be hard for you too.
But here's the
So-
difference. Average women have an easier time dating than average men.
And whose fault is that? It's your guys' fault for sleeping with anything that has two legs. Not saying
No,
necessarily
no,
men in
no.
general.
Women-
Men in general.
No, that's
Men
not
in
how it
general.
works.
That's really not how it works. Let me frame the question like this. Agree or disagree? Do women have dating on easy mode? Kiko, yes or no? Compared to men.
What does dating on easy mode even mean? Like I really don't.
It
I
means
really don't get that.
it means that
Do you
you
understand?
get to select. So this is something that's like inherent to just women in dating, is that they're kind of all players, and not like consciously, but because they just have so many options, right? Like there's this guy in your DMs, and that guy met you yesterday, and there's this guy in the grocery store, and so you have options. Whereas men, we have to go out and create those options for ourselves. They don't just slide into our they don't just show up into our lives.
I mean,
so
just
that's
to
what he
complain
means.
about that just sounds like very
It's not
like
complaining. It's just acknowledging a reality of the world. What Sam is getting at, and by the way, I disagree with the idea that all women are like kind of players, but I understand what you're getting at. The reality that he's getting at is that women are born with their value, and men have to build their value, right? If I'm some loser and I just sit at home and I'm eating like potato chips all day and I don't spend my time trying to build my value as a man, build my confidence, all these kind of things, I'm not going to have as much success with women as I would otherwise. But an average woman who isn't working on her own personal excellence and who still has a decent level of attractiveness, even if she's just average, there's going to be tons of dudes that want to sleep with her. And average guys do not have tons of women that want to sleep with
they
them.
probably do. They're just trying to seek out
No,
women who are above their
no.
pay grade.
Kiko, let me
Can I
let me
interject?
tell you
Like,
conclusively.
especially in IV, I know men who are
Kiko.
ugly as hell getting laid every
Kiko,
night.
because
hold
they
on,
have
let Chase
confidence.
finish.
Because they have Tinder.
They have
Let's
Tinder,
be
but
for
they
real.
also have game and they have confidence. Okay.
I mean, game matters.
The-
Riz.
It does. The average guy does not have tons of women who want to sleep with him. The average guy would be
Has
lucky
none.
to have one or
Yeah.
two who want to sleep with him. Okay.
I see your point, but it's like
The average, the point that I've made in previous podcasts, the average guy can go on Tinder and get 0 swipes. Okay. The average woman can go on Tinder and get laid 2 nights.
I know a lot of guys who are very average and they don't have any problem finding women to sleep with or date or anything. It's just knowing who's on your level.
But
That's
is
not
finding
true.
someone to
Yeah.
sleep with
Wait,
really
I
fulfilling?
would love
That's
to
what
hear
we're talking
Billy
about.
comment on this.
Please come
Yeah,
in.
I have across platforms probably over 800,000 followers that are all single men. That's why they follow me for dating advice. And I get thousands of messages every day from attractive guys that cannot get a date. And the messages are fucking sad. Like it is, girls are not aware of the crisis out there that men are facing in the dating world. I don't think you guys can, I don't think you can speak on it because you don't know about it. You don't see them. It's
So,
way
wait, let her
bigger than
finish.
you
Hold
could
on, let her
ever
finish.
imagine. You have no idea how sad it is. I cry about it when I read the messages.
So let me ask you a question. You mentioned that you have a lot of attractive guys who cannot get a date. Why would you say that is?
I think this is
You can just be honest. This is an important conversation that a lot of people can learn from.
I think the feminism movement has completely beat down men.
Okay, expand on that.
I think they are scared to speak to women.
Because of the Me Too stuff, or
That's a part of it, but I don't think it's a big part of it. I think their confidence is absolutely destroyed in the dating world. Women feel like I feel like the feminism movement has kind of made women not just feel equal to men, but actually superior to men. And I feel like that's the way they treat a lot of men.
do you feel like the feminism movement has convinced a lot of women to not appreciate men for what they
Yes.
bring to the table?
Masculinity is dead.
Because feminism causes women to become masculine and to embody the traits that they would otherwise look for in a partner. Would you say
and
that's accurate?
Yeah, and that's hard for a man to even be attracted to.
Right. Because
No man wants a masculine woman.
Right, and men, you know, we have a dream inside of our hearts. If you're a masculine man who's red-blooded, we have a dream inside of our hearts to care for a woman and protect her and provide for her and build a family with her. And a lot of women who are like deep into feminism, they're like, I don't need a man to do those things for me. Do you feel like that is demoralizing a lot of men who are looking for partners?
Absolutely. It's not giving them purpose. When a man cannot provide for his family,
men can, but
when a man is not appreciated for providing for his family, that completely
invalidates him in a way.
Yes.
And so do you feel like that is causing a lot of men to feel hopeless in the dating marketplace?
Yeah, and I also think a lot of men, I think porn plays a huge part in this. I think that a lot of men are just
Addicted.
I think they're addicted. I think they're in their homes now more, and they don't have the social skills to speak to women. And I think, you know, like we said, game is attractive to us. Like a lot of men don't even know how to approach women.
Now, as you can see there, he understands that if he just comes out and says all of those things, then he'll get called a misogynist and they'll clip it up and it doesn't hold as much weight. But if he can lead her to saying these things, then it's a bit more palatable. And you can see that all of the women on the panel are pretty silent. I mean, a few of them are pot plants anyway, but the ones who normally talk are actually silent when she's saying this. Whereas if he just said it, then you can guarantee old mate Kiko would be interrupting him like there's no tomorrow. So great use of, let's call it, therapist-style conversational skills there to lead her to the important points. But that clip also shows that many women these days, and I mean probably like 90% of women, maybe more, have absolutely zero idea of what it's like for the bottom 50% of men in terms of dating. Zero clue. And guys, this is actually pretty relevant to what I'm doing at the moment. And for those of you who have been following me on Instagram, you'll see that I've been traveling the world and I'm making different videos from different cities, interviewing girls on the street about what they're looking for in a man and speaking about relationships. I've already been to Japan, Korea, Taiwan, and now I'm in Bangkok in Thailand. So stay tuned for that, guys. And we're going to see if the delusion is just more with Western women and if foreign women have a bit better of an understanding of men, or if this is a worldwide thing. I think you guys are going to love it. But more to the point, in the last week alone, I think I've approached about 500 girls on the street. And this is in countries where girls are more friendly and open. And the amount of times that I've been rejected and ignored and girls just acting like I don't even exist is crazy. It's not easy to get female attention. It's shown by the numbers as well. That there was a research paper done by Indiana University that said nearly 1 in 3 US men aged 18 to 24 reported no sexual activity in the past year. And this, in my view, is one of the most serious problems of our generation. And not that men are not having sex per se, but more the issue that men are not feeling capable of attracting women and that men are not entering into meaningful relationships where they feel respected and where they feel like a provider and where they have that purpose. And instead, they're retreating from the sexual marketplace and just throwing in the towel. And all of those sexual urges, which, shocker guys, we have a lot of them because we have testosterone running through our body, are being repressed. And eventually, those urges find their way out. And a generation of sexless men is not a healthy thing for a society. And dismissing the issue is not helping. I mean, why do you think so many young men have turned to the likes of Andrew Tate? Because he's saying all of the things that they feel inside but are too scared to say or can't quite articulate. These cultural phenomenons don't just happen. They don't just come out of nowhere. The reason why he's so unbelievably popular and why this podcast is also very popular is because they touch a nerve. Now, guys, the next bit is honestly one of the most in-your-face versions of pure narcissism that you will likely ever see.
I see them having a fairly easy time, especially in IV. It could be the ugliest man walking up to an average woman and they'll go home together. Men in IV have no problem getting laid. I've watched the ugliest men get laid every single night.
Kiko, because you are seeing a specific subset of men.
That's why I said maybe it's the area.
No, it's not just the area. This is across the board. A very small amount of men are just getting women easily. For the vast majority, you shake your head. I talk to a lot of men, Kiko, a lot of men, and they all come to me because they're like, bro, it seems like you have confidence in understanding how women work. Help me because I'm struggling with these women. A lot of dudes are not successful with women. The majority of guys are not successful with women. It is difficult for men to attract and keep women if they are average men. It is not an easy thing.
I would say if
It
they're
is
below average,
It
not
is
average.
no. It's
No,
not. It's not.
Well, this
below
is exactly
average.
why marriage rates are declining.
And it's also
Why?
why she has 800,000 followers across her platforms of attractive. You said it's below average men. She has attractive dudes that are struggling to get.
I would
solid
say
women.
any man who's going to her for that probably has some more deep-rooted issues.
No,
is the
the
reason
problem-
why they're having to
Kiko,
do that.
the problem is that
Yeah,
you are
'cause they're
judging.
not
You are
normal.
judging all men based on the small subset of men that you see.
Okay.
I don't
Can I
think
say
you
something
could
real
You
quick?
are.
speak
Maybe
on.
you're judging
yeah.
off the small subset.
No,
of men that you see.
I know a shitload of guys.
So do I.
Okay, a shitload of guys.
Let's pull up
And-
some studies too, by the way. But
Yeah,
Go for
the majority of these guys. I mean, all you have to do is look at that thing that Brian brings up. The female.
Infographic.
Like how everyone's
no,
hoes.
hold on.
How do hoes exist?
Hold on.
delusion.
The female
Because they're
delusion.
fucking everybody.
Please listen.
Kiko, let him finish.
Please listen.
He's cut me off a lot of times, Brian. If you haven't
Kiko,
noticed.
you're the master of cutting off. Just let him finish, and then you can go. Well, you would look shocked, but just. By the way, you can keep a poker face while people are talking. You don't need to do like a whole. You don't need to do like a.
Brian,
don't
don't say anything to me anymore.
You don't, bro.
do you want
don't-
views or no? If I
Bro,
was just
but-
sit here like this, you're not gonna get shit. So let me
Bro,
do what I
but-
do. Thank
but
you.
It's if you're like grimacing when someone's trying to make a point and you're like rolling your eyes, it's kind of rude.
He does the exact same shit. He,
Well,
like,
I'm not looking
Kiko,
at shit.
maybe
I've
you
listened.
should.
I've listened to many of your points. I let you make them, and I try to address them. And the point that I want to make right now, throughout. So I've done. This is what the 9th episode that I've done at this point. And one of the things Brian has asked girls, he goes like, okay, so what kind of guys do you like, right? Girls like tall guys who ideally make a decent amount of money. Oftentimes, like Deborah said, it's above 6 foot tall, right? And if you look up the female delusion calculator and you look at the amount of dudes that are above 6 feet tall that make, $90,000 a year or up, it's like less than 1% of the population. Okay, so you have women saying, "Hey, this is what I want." 99% of men do not fit that standard. Okay, and so you say, well, it's the below average guys that, they can't get laid. Literally 99% of men do not fit in the average woman's standards for what they want in a partner. Do you see the problem there?
I see that, but my point is, a lot of women might be saying that, but their actions aren't showing that. I might say that, but my last ex was broke as fucking 5'7".
You're
So
right.
he still got to date me.
You're right,
and I
which
was
is
not,
why
So
he got to date you.
yeah, he got to date me.
What?
Yeah. Want me to say it again?
You
He
guys got to date
me.
You guys got to date each other, right?
Based off of the point of he's saying is how he's below me because he's not 6 foot and wasn't making that much money. In his eyes, he got to date me because based
Is
off
that
what
how
you guys
you
are
view
saying.
it? Is that your frame of how you view?
I would say he got to date me because he reached out to me for months beforehand, and we had to have multiple friends intervene to get us into a relationship.
You didn't
Is
get
why.
to date each other.
Honestly,
you didn't feel
not,
fortunate to date him?
No, not at all.
So why did you date him?
I was honestly
Interesting.
dragged into it. I was in a very traumatic point of my life.
Rip for this.
Can I say something?
Where to start? Look how she responded when Brian criticized her. And now imagine being her partner. And it's not the first time I've said this on this channel, guys. And most of the people who watch this will be privy to this. But if I can even help one man that has not yet categorically arrived at this conclusion, then this video would have been worth making. Avoid these sorts of women at all costs, men. They may be hot and seductive and exciting, but at the end of the day, when push comes to shove, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. They will ruin your life and not even lose a wink of sleep over it because they are never wrong, you see. And there's a passage in Proverbs that's actually quite relevant here, and it reads as following. For the lips of an adulterous woman drip honey, and her speech is smoother than oil. But in the end she is bitter as gall, sharp as a double-edged sword. Her feet go down to earth, her steps lead straight to the grave. Just look at the way that she just spoke about her ex-boyfriend, and his family and friends will probably watch that. And she's just cool with hanging out the dirty laundry like that. And obviously men have their own ways of being terrible humans, but guys, be careful out there, because if you meet the wrong woman, she will destroy your reputation forever and actually get a lot of pleasure out of it. And study this behavior closely, guys, because here you have somebody who is a perfect example of a woman with more red flags than a Chinese communist parade. And you guys must have thought that the delusion couldn't get any more severe in this video. Well, I regret to inform you that we are about to witness the mother of all delusional statements. The following utterances surely defy all clinical data and empirical knowledge about human behavior and self-aggrandizement. It flies in the face of what I thought possible, but maybe you guys think differently. Let's check it out.
So, like, do you get mad bitches?
Honestly, yes. However, let me clarify something. I feel like the older that I'm getting, I'm washing them away. Why? Because I'm getting older. I want a man who loves me
23?
openly.
You're 23.
Yeah, I'm
You got-
23. But
you got
like,
plenty
honestly,
of time to sow the wild oats.
Let's be.
Is that how that goes?
Let's spill the tea real quick, okay? Like, let's spill the tea. My experiences from dating are way more different than theirs. I'm a trans girl. Like, men, honestly, like, it's so fucking rare that you ever even find a guy that's being like, let me take you out. Let's go see a movie. Let's go have dinner. No, they're just trying to fuck. I'm a fetish to like 98% of those fucking guys. You know? So my thing right now is like, okay, yeah, sexually I can probably have whatever the fucking guy I want to.
You sure about
But
that?
no, honestly, like there has not, I'm going to be 100% honest. Like if I genuinely like that guy or if I like, oh, like, you know.
There's nothing godly about it.
Yeah.
Not you, sorry.
So like if I'm attracted to them sexually, like I've 95% of the time I'll get it. However, I'm getting to a certain age now, like a level of maturity where it's like, okay, sex is just sex at this point. I want intimacy and I want it outside of closed doors.
Yup.
You want something that's not shallow and superficial. You want more than just sex.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Yup.
like I crave intimacy, like, and honestly, like that's something that I want long term, and I'm at a level of maturity. Like I said, I'm clearing the fucking roster. I don't give a fuck if you're a fucking football player, if you know so and so person, if you know X, Y, and Z. Like I don't give a fuck. Like
Clearing the roster. What do you mean by that? Do you have confirm or
Do you
deny?
have blue
Is there a
checks
roster?
in your DMs?
yeah,
You're just running through famous dudes?
I'm not gonna be like talking like, yeah, I have hundreds, but I have like a good amount.
But you said a roster, so like, what question for you? What's the most amount of people that you've dated
All at once,
all at once?
like in rotation.
Same time, rotation, however you want
Honestly, like 3.
In
Oh, okay.
rotation.
to. Okay.
Yeah, no, like I'll have men. I'm like, okay, this one's annoying me. Like, okay, it's time to clear his ass and let's bench this person right there.
I'm a bit lost for words at this stage. I mean, unless you're like clinically blind or you don't really have all of your faculties firing, then you know what I mean, surely. But this is where we're at, guys. This is how far we've fallen. This is where our culture stands. And if she is telling the truth here, if she is getting all of this male attention and male validation, then who the hell are these guys? Who are these people that are making her feel like a, quote, baddie? I mean, I don't think I know any men that would be overly attracted to her, and I don't think that there's vast swathes to the tune of 95% of men who are secretly repressing the desires for such a woman. And if so, they're doing a marvelous job of keeping it to themselves. But I mean, help me out in the comments, please, guys. What is going on here?
If you think that if a man chooses to sleep with a trans woman is gay, so be it. That's your opinion. I have no problem with you having your own opinion. But you saying comments like that on a podcast with this many subscribers and viewers hinders men who are straight, because they do exist, who choose to sleep with trans women. And if for you being some godly Christian man, I think you should learn how to keep your fucking mouth shut sometimes when it comes to those topics, because it's very hateful and hurtful. Just like how you've been giggling and sitting here across the table this whole time. If you were such a godly man who's returned his whole life around for God, you should learn for a little bit more acceptance and tolerance when it comes to these platforms. Honestly, truthfully, if you want to say that shit behind closed doors with your other little red pill friends, go ahead and do so, but just learn and recognize the platform you have and how much influence you have. There's already enough trans hate and crime out there. You don't need to influence it more, was my point. Thank you.
There's many things I could say in response to that.
Then say it.
Let me ask you this. Is God tolerant?
I think God made us all in his light. He didn't make any mistakes, right? So if he created trans people, then he did it for a reason.
Did he create trans people, or do trans people choose to be trans?
This shit was not a fucking choice for me. I can look you in the eye right now and say this was not a choice.
You didn't choose to go on hormones. You don't choose to dress this way. You don't choose to identify as a woman. You don't choose to wear a weave. You don't choose to put on makeup and present yourself as a woman.
So it's the same way for you, though. It's like me asking you, like, oh, did you choose to wear that shirt today? Because to you it's natural, right? It's 100% natural. Did you choose to get a fade? Of course, because you know it looks good on you. That's you like. So that's everything that you choose to do, everyday hygiene to you. That's your normal. To me, this is my normal.
I think it's your job to mind your business.
No, my question to you is God tolerant? You projected all of these
I would say
values.
God is tolerant.
Okay, so
you gonna educate me?
in Genesis, yes,
ahead.
I will. I will educate you on exactly what the Word of God says. In Genesis, it says that when God created mankind, he made them male and female. And in Leviticus, it says for a male to have sexual relations with another man as he would with a woman, that is an abomination in God's eyes and is worthy of being put to death.
How many times has the Bible been translated?
Correct?
How many times has the
As
Bible
an
been
Orthodox
translated?
Jew, is this correct?
Can you let me respond if you're going to make a statement to me before you bring someone else into it, so I don't forget what I'm going to say?
I want to hear what you have to say, but this is correct, is it not?
I don't know what the words are. I don't know what Leviticus would be in Hebrew, because like that's how I learned everything in Hebrew. But the biggest thing that we harp on in Judaism is a man should not lie in bed with another man, and then we take that to mean don't.
Do you
be
guys
gay.
know that scripture was changed so many times though? Let me finish my
This is a
statement before you
point
start
that people
talking.
bring
Let
up
me
all
finish
the
my
time, and
statement
it's
before
not
you start
true.
talking. Let me finish
It's
my
not
statement
true.
before you interrupt me. Thank you.
You're making falsehoods, but go
I
on.
feel like you should let her finish.
Thank
just let her
you. So
finish.
the Bible has been translated. Obviously, that's not a falsehood. It was not written in English, was it? No. Do you know Latin?
It wasn't written in Latin.
Okay,
either.
whatever was written
Aramaic.
in. Yes. Okay, it was been.
Aramaic,
my whole point
Greek,
is.
and Hebrew.
Fucking let me finish.
You're
Jesus
trying to educate
Christ.
me on the Bible,
okay,
but
let
you
me
don't
finish.
even
Do
have
it
your
after.
most basic facts
Do it
straight.
fucking after.
You
Let
don't
me
have your
finish.
most basic
Let
facts
me
straight.
finish.
Go on.
You keep interrupting me, but you get so mad when someone interrupts you.
I'm not mad at all.
Oh.
Go on. You're just stating falsehoods and presenting yourself
your
as an
forehead
authority.
wrinkles are giving you away. So
Okay,
maybe get some Botox.
continue
Maybe
to
get some
ad
Botox.
hominem
Oh,
me.
you brought them back down.
Continue to ad
okay.
hominem me.
So what I was saying is the Bible has been rewritten so many times.
False.
It's been translated so many times.
Faithfully and accurately.
Can you tell him
Okay,
to stop
let
fucking
her
interrupting me?
finish. Like
He's
she
interrupting
lets
every
you.
word I say, dude.
Okay, just continue.
Like
Go
everything
ahead.
I talk, he's interrupting every word. If I do that, you would get on my case.
You both interrupt. It's a conversation. Just go ahead. Go ahead, Kiko.
The Bible has been translated multiple times, and there is proof and evidence stating that most of those translations from those scriptures, they were actually saying a man should not lay with a child. It was not man and man. A lot of things have been translated because there's so much P word that runs through the church that they do things. Oh, we're talking like that? It's not in the Vatican. There's not. We don't have these things.
Hebrew.
Right?
I'm sorry, I
know where
can't
you-
listen to that false. I learned the Bible in the original language that it was written. I learned in Aramaic and I learned in Hebrew, and it's never a child. It's a man should not lay in bed with another man. And so Jews don't even share beds. Like on sleepaway trips, if we went on overnight, Jews, 2 guys, are not allowed to even share a bed for a sleepover because it's that serious that it also even more so means that you should not do anything gay. But the pedophilia in the church, that's a whole different issue, I think, than this specific issue of like, is being gay right or wrong? Is being trans?
Let's
My whole
stay
point.
away from
okay.
that
Anyways,
topic,
my whole.
guys, but go
thank
ahead,
you
Kiko.
for your information with that. I've read things that differ even in church. The churches I've gone to have said things that differ. So I would like to talk more about you with that. But overall, my whole thing is I don't think in God's light would He want you sitting here shaming people more for what they're doing. What they're doing is not affecting you in your life. So why don't you just mind your fucking business instead of spewing hate on a podcast with so much influence on people? Let them live their lives.
Okay,
Just let
so
them live.
so just
Why
really
do you
one
care
quick-
so much? Why does it bother you so much? Are
one
you
quick
attracted
thing,
to them
one
and it
quick
makes you
thing,
feel
one
some type of
quick
way?
thing.
No.
Is that what it
Chase,
is?
Chase,
You
one
seem
quick
you
thing.
seem a little bothered.
I'm going to respond to that, but Brian, go ahead.
One quick thing. So I would like to try to direct the conversation. I mean, we can have a theological discussion about
No,
what the Bible
before
says,
you do
but-
that, this is not about me shaming people. This is not about me doing anything like you just described. I stated biological facts, and you have a problem with me stating biological facts. And the facts that I stated is for a man to have sex with a trans woman, he would be having sex with a biological male, which is homosexual. That is what I said. That is all I've ever said. I haven't sat on this podcast shaming people, being hateful towards people. I've stated very basic facts. And you sit on the other side and you're like, you can't do that as the supposed godly Christian man. You need to be tolerant towards people. It is our job as Christians to align ourselves with the Word of God. It is also our job to, as Jesus said, make disciples of the nations and to share the Word of God. And you make all these statements about Chase. You can't be judgmental towards people. Jesus told us we are in this life to judge with righteous judgment, and whatever judgment we apply towards others, we will be judged by that exact same standard with which we judge others. It's not a Christian's job to just walk around the world and be tolerant. It's a Christian's job to combat evil and to combat falsehoods. Okay, and for you to say, oh, it's so hateful and intolerant, and you're trying to shame people who want to make these decisions, it's none of these things. I'm simply speaking truth.
God is not tolerant. Jesus is not tolerant. And that's a misconception that we always hear. Oh, if you're such a godly man, then you should be tolerant. No, you shouldn't. You should be a principled person. A good man is not a man that just bends over for everybody. And a good man is not somebody who just live and let live everybody. Sorry, a good man is a man of principle and a man who is willing to stand on his principles. And those good men are the types of men that get us through hard times. And I think it's pretty funny that she actually claims to be a Christian. It just goes to show it's a deeper point as to where the church is at the moment. The Catholic Church is in serious crisis at the moment in terms of their messaging. There are a lot of churches out there that are trying to be like a soft, like watered down, modern version of religion, and clearly it just does not work. Once the cracks start to emerge, the dam is inevitably going to burst. And I think that as much as Christianity is being adopted by a lot of people, Islam is really being adopted en masse by a lot of young people. And in my opinion, one of the reasons for that is because people are looking at this woke culture and they're feeling disenfranchised by it. And they're looking for an antidote to that. And they're looking for a structure to guide them and a community. And that's why they turn to Rattlesnake TV and religion. But in all seriousness, for many, Christianity and the Catholic Church just isn't really providing that. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out in the future.
Whether or not if we agree or disagree, I feel like we all, like, I'm gonna be 100% honest, I was extremely worried on walking into a podcast like this because I've never seen another trans girl on here before.
I think you conducted yourself extremely well. I've enjoyed speaking with you. I thought it was very based that you said, yeah, it's gay when dudes like who have a fetish for dicks pursue
it's
trans
true.
women. Yeah,
it's true.
I thought that was funny and
The
based.
Chasers are going crazy for us. They can't live without us. I forget that your name's Chase, but that's literally what they're called.
And I want to say too, like, I salute you as well for hosting, Allie, because like I think one of the reasons why podcasts like this are so valuable is because there's this tension that's building in our country with these ideologies and between like the right and the left and all that kind of stuff. And I think conversations like this help us understand one another better. And I think that's really important. And like, despite seeing the clips and like being nervous about coming in here, like I really commend you for coming here. And I've valued, hearing your experience.
Let's get good. W's in the chat for Allie. Let's see Wally, I guess.
Wally. Yeah, Wally.
Wally in the chat. Let's get Wally in the chat
to salute Allie.
And also, I just wanted to address one thing. There were a couple times where me and Chase were kind of giggling a little bit. I actually want to apologize for that. That wasn't cool, especially when you're speaking.
For that too.
So this is why I love this podcast, guys. And this is why it's so popular at the moment. They get to the root of some very important issues and they have a bit of banter and it gets fiery sometimes. And people have differences of opinion, but at the end of the day, they shake hands. Well, most of them anyway, and they get over it and they have a common respect for each other. So well done to Brian and the Whatever Podcast. Make sure you guys are subscribed to them if you're not already. And if you guys want to find me on social medias and follow my journey around the world and what I'm up to at the moment, then hit the links in the bio and pinned at the top of the comments and you can find me there. Also, join me on Locals at rattlesnaketv.locals.com and join the community. If you guys want to watch another video, click right here. Until next time, I'm Jake. This is Rattlesnake TV, keeping you armed and dangerous.